Well, welcome back to Tom's Garage again, boys and girls. Welcome back to part 2. Got to get this thing back together and get it out of here. You know, I've said it 100 times and I'll say it 100 more times. It's weird how I get a run on certain things, like this Poulan. Poulan right here. There's another Poulan right there. Same thing. And this morning I had to go pick one up. I did. Pow. Same thing. Strange. I usually get a run on John Deere's, not Poulan's. Okay. First thing we're going to do, I spent a pretty good bit of time with a good straight razor cleaning this gasket material off. What I did to help me, I'll tell you, that thing was stuck on there good. I just used a little bit of this right here, a contact cleaner. I just kind of wet the gasket, keep the gasket wet, and it'll just kind of, it'll help. It's hard to scrape a gasket like that dry. So let's go ahead and get this oil seal installed. Got to get an idea of how deep this thing is driven in. About the thickness of a screwdriver blade, just below that little curved part right there. You don't want to go all the way down with it, because you can see right there, you got an oil passage, and you can drive this thing down far enough to block that oil passage. So what we want to do is just stay just above that. All right. Seal port. You can get these at any auto parts store. Makes it pretty easy. And let's see, I got another one of these over there. This is just a seal driver. I've got one that's a Briggs and Stratton brand. Let me see what the part number for it is. Part number for that, I got two of them. This one's a Briggs, a 670104. Same thing as this. This one's just kind of beat up over the years. And it's real easy to booger that new seal up. That way that's the reason I want to make sure you get it started perfectly straight. It's kind of crooked. Be very, very careful. Grab a hammer. I'm not going to use too big of a hammer. Yeah, buddy. I'll have that started evenly enough. Just kind of, just make it where it's kind of stiff now, and it's a little high on that side. Center that up and okay. That's about where it was, and you can still see the oil passage. It's a little bit crooked to me, but I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to tap this side right here down a little bit. Try to get it more flat. Let me grab a little punch. I'm going to knock it down just a little bit right here, because to me it's kind of high on that side. Yeah, right in here. Just right in here. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah, that's nice and straight. It's not all the way down. You can still see the oil passage. Okay, that's good. That is good. All right, let's put this thing back together. I'm gonna hang the camera back on top of the bench right there and go cooking show style with it. Y'all hang loose. All right. Let's see, we're gonna start with the little camshaft. I got this crankshaft spun where the timing mark is right there. And I got this piece of wood because I wanted to get the weight of this engine off the flywheel because it had the whole crankshaft shifted. Now we'll find the timing mark here, right there. I got the lifters in. I just bumped the camera over my head again. Okay. Timing marks line up. Okay. Get the governor put back on. Make sure this anti-vibration thing is nice and straight. It's clean and dry. I took carpet cleaner and a nice clean rag and got that clean. Okay. I took all the mountain bolts and I put these in the wire wheel and cleaned off all the old thread lock. Let me take and blow through some of these holes. Make sure we don't have any loose thread lock floating around in there. That can actually cause these threads to gall up. You don't want to gall up your threads there. Okay. Next thing we got to do, put a little oil on it. I just got regular old motor oil in here. I don't want to get no oil on the maintenance surface. So move that shaft there. All right, that ought to be good. Now for the gasket. What do I do with the gasket? Okay. Make sure I get this on right. It goes just like that. What I want to do after I get it on, I want to put a little oil on this oil seal. Wait a minute. Let me do something real quick here. Do something real quick here. Where is that other oil seal? What did I do with it? Let me hit pause 1 second. I got a customer coming up. Okay. 19 customers later. Put a little bit of oil around that. The only thing I want to make sure does not happen is I don't want that oil seal to roll. Put a little oil on it. I took a little piece of sandpaper and lightly kind of polished it. Okay, got the cam in there, the governor, everything's lined up pretty good. Gasket, everything's clean, got some oil in it. All right, timing marks are lined up. Now we got to work that oil seal. Do not want that thing to roll. It'll cause that little spring to come out from inside of it. There we go. There we go. We were just about all right. We are down. We are down. I looked up the torque specs and it is 200 inch-pounds. Which is about 16 foot-pounds. Already got it set at 16 pounds. And I keep bumping the camera. Start these by hand so you don't get them cross-threaded. Just a little bit of digging. Some of these are still going to be kind of tight because of that leftover thread lock still left in them threads. Might have to get the ratchet out and run them on down till they touch. What I'm going to do is get my paint pen. I'm going to number each bolt. That way we know we get all 10 of them. And then that'll tell us also the pattern to go in. This is the one that was kind of tight. I had a lot of trouble getting that one out yesterday. That's why I took my time to wire wheel all these bolts. I just hit the camera again. You're going to have to pardon me. That camera is right in the way. Let me raise the camera up a little bit. Can you see me now? I was probably zoomed in too close a second ago anyway. I ain't doing no particular pattern right now. I'm just getting the bolts kind of run down till they touch. Oh, I just hit the camera again. I gotta get a better mount for this thing. There we go. That's good for now. Using that aftermarket GoPro stuff, that mounts and things like that, they're not really high quality. Alright, all 10 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All 10 of them are run down. Okay, let's see. I'm going to start with this one. That one could be number 1. This one could be number 2. This one could be number 3. This one here can be number 4. This one can be number 5. This one can be number 6. That one could be number 7. This one can be number 8. This one could be number 9. And then this one could be number 10. That's a good pattern. Hey, well, let me hit pause. I got a customer. Okay. Whew. All right, we'll start with number 1. Tighten a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, now we'll do it again. There's a click. Where did I say number 2 was? Right there. There's a click. There's the click. 4. There's the click. 5. There's a click. 6. 7. There's a click. 8. There's a click. 9. There's a click. And there's a click for number 10. To me, 200 inch-pounds doesn't seem enough. I knew it was the thread lock holding these bolts, but they were a lot tighter than that, I feel. I'm gonna run these things on up to about 20. I don't want to over torque it much, but I'm gonna do it again on 20. It'll make me feel better. Okay, there's a click. 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 Six. 7. Yeah. 9 and 10. Let me hit pause, fellas. Dinner is ready and we will be right back. Y'all hang with. All right. Now all I gotta do is put the oil pump back in there. I always hated doing this. Trying to get this thing to line up just perfectly. I'm trying to keep my head out of your way. I need to stick my head over there. go. Just like that. Oh, let's see, that's not a 3/8, that's a 5/16. All right, there it is. Let me hit pause, let me change tripods. We'll slap this motor back on this bad boy. Y'all hang with. All right, my favorite part. Yeah. Hiya! All right. Whew. We won that one. Now we'll get her up and put her back together. We'll run it. First thing we gotta do is get the 4 engine bolts back in there. Get the pulley back on. And then we can put the deck mount back on. Then we can move up top, put the valve, push rods back in, get the valves reset, spark plug, hook everything back up, get some fuel in it, and run it. All right. Let's see, what's a better angle? You can see right under here where the engine bolts go. Ribbon extension. You get 2 of them started and then the other 2 ought to line up. I'll get the 2 front ones. Those 2 rear ones are kind of hard to get to. I got them 2 started. Get my hand up in here and get this one started. Get my hand in there somehow or another. Grab my extension and socket. See if I can wedge that up in there like that. Watch out, Mr. Belt. Let me stick my head under there and make sure it ain't crooked and yeah, it's crooked. It's crooked. It's crooked. Let me get it back out. Like I said, these tie rods are right in the way. Let's see if I can get to that one over there from this side. Well. Yep, that was going in a good street. Too much stuff is in the way. Stick my head under there, make sure that one ain't crooked. Nope, seems to be going in there pretty good. Hard to tell if it's going in or not. That one's in. That one's in. That one's in. Yeah, see if we can get this one. Let's see what I'm doing. I can't find it. Where's it at? Okay. Whew, engine bolts are in. Now, we'll go under. We'll go under. We gotta get that pulley on the shaft. What can I do with the pulley? There it is. Let's see. Which way's the keyway facing? That way. We gotta get that transmission pulley belt on this pulley inside the belt fingers. Inside that one. Here. And inside that one. Go ahead and get the bolt started so it'll hold it up there. Let me look on the other side and make sure it's inside the belt keeper. And it's not. Can't get my hand in there. I can't even get my head or hand in there to see. You'll got to pull it back down a little bit. Whew. I'm gonna do this blind. You can't see nothing. I can't find the keyway. Get that bolt back out of the way. It ain't helping. Take the parking brake off, and that belt will tighten a little bit and help. There it goes. Got that. still got the 16 in here. 1/16. Where's the 5/8? All the way over there. There, socket. Thank you. Put this socket on there. We'll finish zipping that down. Okay. Whew. All right, we got that back on there. Transmission belts on. Everything else looks good. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to lower this tractor back onto the table. That way we ain't got to pick that deck up so far. And that's what we'll do. Is we'll be done under here. Then we'll get that blade belt back on. I'm going to set the camera over here. Okay, let's get these jack stands out of the way. I'm telling you, I am sweating. Let's get this bar here, put that in. Okay, now we'll get the belt back on there. Let me engage the deck. Make sure everything is nice and tight. All right. That's too much like work. It is. Okay, let me I'll just leave it on this tripod. We'll just keep using this tripod. Okay, we'll get the exhaust put back on there. Last thing we'll do is the valves. Get that started. Make sure it gets started. That's a nice set of Capri tools. Pow. I won a whole set of these things off Shane's live stream one night. Okay, got that. Let's grab a couple of 7/16 wrenches, get the starter hooked back up, get the wires plugged back in. Exact opposite of what we did yesterday. There's the wires. solenoid wire hooked back up. Make sure you hold that shaft right there. Nice and tight. You always want your electrical fittings, cables and stuff good and tight. Not overly tight, but good and tight. Good and tight. Okay. Now we'll move over here. And we'll get the, let's go ahead and slap an oil filter on there. I don't want that thing to be dripping oil all over me. I'm gonna take this dipstick out too. That lets me know we don't have oil in it yet. It'll let me know. $492,932 oil flitter. That's plenty tight. Roll cable. Make sure you don't bend it. That's about where it was yesterday. I'm gonna put it on choke and make sure it's choking, and it is. You can see it right there when I choke it. Right now it's choked. That's unchoke. Choke. Okay. Let's go ahead and replace that fuel filter with another fuel filter. Yesterday, after I got done filming, I went ahead and just let this drink. I went ahead and let the drink tank drain. Well, I ain't fighting with that thing. I've got a special tool. Wow. All right, here we go. Right to the trash can. Ooh, almost had it. Oh, nope, missed again. I'm gonna hit that trash can one of these days. Yeah. Find the arrow, because I'll probably just put it on backwards. I wish they'd make the arrow a little more visible. Yeah, there it is right there, and I got it backwards. Got it backwards. No, it's not backwards. You got to get it dirty to be able to see the arrow. Get it dirty. Should have cut some of that length off this thing. Let's see. We can route it down through here. Yeah, I like that. I'm gonna put a zip tie around that. And that carburetor out there is probably gonna be mad at me for laying it upside down all evening, all night. Grab a zip tie. Don't need that fuel filter chafing. That engagement cable is just all kinds of crazy, isn't it? I'm gonna zip tie it somewhere too. Did this one? Yeah, this one had the. Or did it? I don't think this one had those side panels on there like some John Deere has. No. I'll make sure I didn't zip tie this thing in the way of those side panels. If it did, that's where they would go. Yeah, that one over there don't have them either. I guess I'll just do all three of them together right here. Like that. Okay, got the throttle hooked back up, fuel line. We gotta get that tank vent. Yep, here it is. Well, I should have zip tied it too, but I didn't see it. It's all right. Okay, everything over here is done. Let's go ahead and bring it down and put some fuel in it. And while we finish it, I want to make sure that carburetor don't start leaking. That'll give us plenty of time to do some more work while that carburetor fills and make sure it ain't leaking. Ain't leaking. Yeah, I'm about to put it in the oil. Y'all saw me going for it, didn't you? That would not have been good. Gas cap leaking. This thing tight. Alright, that's a lot of gas. That's a lot of gas. Okay. Let's raise it back up and we'll do the valves, valve cover and gasket. Put a new air filter on here. And we'll crank it up. By golly, we ought to be about done with this thing. I don't have another, I thought I did. Let's grab a spark plug. I thought I had another stainless steel push rod, but I don't. I got a couple of leftover aluminum ones, so we'll just use the original. 30 little thoughts. That's good. Stick a spark plug in there. So we need to leave that out of the way for now. All right, let me grab a feeler gauge. Feeler gauge. And we'll grab a 5/8. And we will grab, well, I should have left that spark plug out while I was doing that. Yeah, let me take that spark plug back out. I got to spin the engine over and find that dead center. Yeah, I should have waited. No big deal. Getting in a hurry, Dobie. Okay. The torque's 15. Is that what that is? Yep. Okay. Here's your push rods. Grab us some light here. It should still be, well, I've been turning the engine over though. That's top dead center. We don't know if it's on the compression stroke or where they interchange with each other. We can't lose these. I'm surprised these didn't fall off. I didn't even think about taking those off. All right, what we've got to do, the aluminum is for the intake. And I want to look way back there and find that, find the top of that, push that lifter. And there it is way back there. Right there, and we're on it. We'll do the same with the exhaust. Get my eyeballs on it, make sure it goes into that lifter. Well, you can barely see it. There it is right there. Looks a bit like it's on the compression stroke. Let us hope. Yeah, it's on the compression stroke. All right, let's spin this engine 360 degrees and see what happens. All right. Okay, the intake valve is opening. Piston's going down. All right, it's coming back up. And that's the compression stroke right there. That's detonation. It pushes the piston down, the exhaust valve opens, it pushes all the exhaust out, and then it starts over again. It sucks in air fuel, it comes up and compresses it. Right there. Now we'll set it 4 thousandths. Just enough to hold that thing. And we'll slide the camera just a little bit. And we'll set this lock ring right there. Okay. That's 4 thousandths. Do the same thing with the exhaust valve, or the intake valve. Hold that with the 5/8 so it don't turn. And then we'll lock this down. That's a little bit loose. Let me just reach over here like this and give it a little oomph. All right, I like that. Now we can put the spark plug in it. Well, no, not yet. I want to spin it over one more time and see the compression release on this thing. Where are we at here? Grab my screwdriver. Where's that piston? This at top dead center. That is on the compression stroke. It should be right before. I'm gonna turn the engine backwards. Okay, it's coming up. You should see the little bump, and I don't see it. It's coming down. I don't see that bump. I don't see the bump for the compression release. But I'll tell you what we'll do. Go ahead and put the spark plug in it and fill it with oil and see if she'll crank over. That'll tell us if that compression release is working. Should be obvious though. All right, let's lower this thing down and put some oil in it. We're not going to put so much oil in it runs out. It'll all stay in the sump down there, but it will pump if you let it crank. All right, grab some oil. We got just a hair under 2 quarts. Let's put a quart in it and check it. Make sure we don't have any oil leaks. And I remembered to close that drain plug down there. All right, that's 1 quart. It's probably going to take a good 1.5 quarts. Grab a rag, we'll see where we are on the dipstick. We still have to fill the oil filter too. Yeah, we're just at add. So we'll put another 1/2 quart in it. We're just below 1. Yeah, we're just below 1. That's about another 1/2 quart there. We'll check it. We'll check it and see. Yep, we're just over full. So just back over there. Well, I better set it on the oil drum or I'll forget to refill this thing. Okay, let's set the parking brake. I think it already is. It is. Let's see. We're going to crank it over. See if that compression release is working. Even though I don't see it working down here. Well, do I not have the... Oh, I don't have the battery hooked up. Let's do that. Ooh, Lord, Lord. Y'all got a call to remind me of these things. Don't remember so well in my older age. Okay, now let's see what we got. Disengaged. It's working. It's working. All right. Now we'll put the new valve cover and gasket on there. All right, there's the new valve cover gasket. Grab some tools. My extension, there it is. Grab some carburetor cleaner and clean rag. Okay, that's nice and dry. Spray that. Good little wipey. And make sure you don't put the valve cover upside down, because you won't be able to read the numbers up like that, so you can see the numbers. I ought to use some of that great stuff, but we'll just use this since that's what it came with. We'll just tell the customer to keep an eye on this thing right here. Just run his hand under here every now and then, make sure this don't start leaking like it was before. Figure out how to use this wrench. I'll tighten these bolts down. Not overly super tight either. Okay, plug in the spark plug. Okay, let's get this thing on the ground, choke it, crank it, let it run for a few seconds and see what we got. May have to prime it. That bowl will be full by now though. Yeah, that carburetor was mad at me for having it upside down all night. Well, let's check the oil. We got a runner. Let's check the oil. We'll kind of look at it for leaks or anything. It needs just a little swallow. So we'll get it just a little swallow. Don't roll off. I need to call my buddy Okie, see what he's been up to. I ain't talked to him in a long time. Well, is there anything coming out? There it goes. Here comes Mr. Kitty wanting some dinner. I didn't see him for breakfast this morning. We'll give him just a little bit more swallow. Pretty good. A little tad too much, but that's all right. Okay. Y'all want to see Mr. Kitty? I've been feeding this stray cat for about 6 years or more. No, where'd he go? He usually sits right there when he's hungry. Huh. I don't know where he went. I seen him walking down the driveway though. I don't guess he's that hungry yet. Stopped at 3 o'clock. Okay. Enough rambling. Let's reach up here and grab him a new air filter. Is that going to take the long one or short one? Which one is this? That's the short one. He had the wrong air filter on here. It's going to take the long one. No, that one. That's the air filter that come out of that one. Yeah, that one's got a V-twin on it. Let's go over here and grab my rubbers. No, I think that's the short one. Yeah, we're gonna need that long one up there. I think this is the short one. Yeah, that was not the right one. We have a 793569. All right. Okay, let's stick this back over there. Well, I'm just about run out of battery power. So we're going to call this a end of part 2. Putting a new camshaft in it. Intek, Briggs and Stratton, 19 horsepower. That's how we did it. Got to run it again. I quoted this guy this job about 1.5 years ago, and he finally brought it to me and said, here, go ahead and do it. So we went ahead and did it. Well, all right, boys and girls, thanks for watching another Tom W video. Y'all be good, love each other. Holler if you need me. And by golly, we'll catch y'all on the next one. Love y'all.